Some middle and high school students understand more than their reading performance shows. They may recognize many familiar words, but struggle when they encounter longer academic vocabulary, complex sentences, unfamiliar word parts, or passages that require accurate and fluent reading. When these foundational skills are weak, students may have difficulty keeping up in English language arts, science, social studies, mathematics, workplace training, and test preparation. Before we take a closer look at Blueprint 2, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I share practical reading strategies, intervention ideas, and classroom-ready resources designed specifically for teachers working with students in grades 6 through 12. Blueprint 2 of the Reading Blueprint is called Word Reading, Morphology, and Fluency. This blueprint helps teachers strengthen the foundational word and sentence reading skills students will use throughout the rest of secondary reading blueprint. The complete mega bundle is organized into 5 units that move students from decoding longer words to understanding complex academic sentences. Step 1. Teach students how to decode multisyllabic words. The first unit focuses on multisyllabic word reading and decoding strategies. Students begin by learning how to break unfamiliar words into readable parts. They identify vowels, locate possible syllable boundaries, recognize familiar chunks, and use a consistent word attack routine instead of guessing at the word or skipping it completely. Students also learn to check whether the word they decoded makes sense in the sentence. Next, they practice reading words that contain prefixes, bases, roots, and suffixes. They learn how to identify each meaningful part, pronounce the parts, resemble the completed word, and recognize spelling changes that may occur. The unit concludes with students applying these strategies to longer academic words found in science, social studies, mathematics, and English language arts. Students do not simply read the words, they also explain which decoding strategy they use and how sentence context helps confirm the word's punctuation and meaning. So step 2, use prefixes and suffixes to build vocabulary. The second unit focuses on prefixes and suffixes. Students learn high utility prefixes and examine how a prefix changes the meaning of a base word. They work with negative, directional, numerical, and relational prefixes in words they are likely to encounter across secondary coursework. Students then study common suffixes and learn how suffixes affect both meaning and word function. For example, students may examine related words such as instruct, instruction, instructional, and instructor. This helps them see how one word family can include noun, verbs, adjectives, and related academic vocabulary. The final lesson brings prefixes and suffixes together. Students separate complex words into meaningful parts, combine the meanings of these parts, determine an approximate definition, and then use context to confirm their thinking. The goal is not simply to memorize a list of affixes. The goal is to give students a practical processes for unlocking familiar academic vocabulary. Step 3. Build academic vocabulary with Greek and Latin roots. The third unit focuses on Greek and Latin roots. Students begin by learning what roots are, why they appear so often in academic vocabulary, and how one root can connect an entire family of words. For example, the root struct appears in words such as construct, structure, instruct, and reconstruction. Students learn to use familiar members of the word family to understand less familiar words. They then study carefully selected high-frequency Greek roots that appear in science, mathematics, technology, and English language arts. They may include roots such as bio, geo, graph, chron, phone, scope, tele, micro, photo, and philology. Students also work with high-utility Latin roots such as struct, port, tract, spect, script, ject, dict, crid, form, and rupt. Throughout the unit, students combine roots and prefixes and suffixes, build word families, and determine word meaning in authentic academic contexts. The emphasis is on depth, repeated application, and meaningful use rather than memorizing an overwhelming number of roots. Step 4. Strengthen reading fluency without turning it into speed reading. The fourth unit focuses on secondary reading fluency. Students begin by learning that fluent reading requires accurate word reading and appropriate pace. They identify miscues, practice self-correction, and learn why faster reading does not always mean better reading. Accuracy comes before speed. Students then practice reading with expression, phrasing, and meaning. They learn how to group words into meaningful phrases, pause at appropriate places, use punctuation, recognize sentence boundaries, and adjust their voice to reflect the meaning of a text. This is especially important for older students who may be able to pronounce most words but still read in a flat or word-by-word manner. The final lesson focuses on building and monitoring fluency. Teachers can use purposeful repeated reading routines, partner reading, teacher-supported practice, timed and untimed readings, goal setting, and progress monitoring tools. Students track growth in accuracy, rate, phrasing, and expression without creating unnecessary pressure to read as quickly as possible. Throughout the unit, students learn that fluency is accurate, appropriately paced, expressive reading that supports understanding. Step 5. Help students understand long and complex sentences. The fifth unit focuses on sentence-level comprehension. Students begin by learning how to break apart long and complex sentences. They identify the main subject and verb, locate the main clause, separate dependent and independent clauses, chunk sentences into meaningful parts, and restate the sentence in simpler language. Students then learn how to track ideas across sentences. They determine what pronouns refer to and follow people, events, ideas, and concepts across the passage. They also analyze signal words and transitions that show relationships, such as cause and effect, comparison, contrast, sequence, addition, and examples. The final lesson focuses on academic syntax in complex texts. Students work with passive voice, embedded clauses, interpreting information, dense noun phrases, nominalizations, and unusual word order. They practice restating complex sentences from science, social studies, mathematics, workplace texts, and literary analysis while preserving the sentence's original meaning. So what will you receive? Throughout Blueprint 2, teachers receive complete, ready-to-use instructional materials. These include edible teaching slides, teacher guides, student references, handouts, word analysis activities, teacher modeling, guided practices, collaborative practice, independent application, graphic organization, fluency routines, progress monitoring tools, exit tickets, answer keys, and student engagement ideas. The lessons can be taught in sequence as complete foundational reading intervention program, or teachers can select specific units based on student needs. Blueprint 2 can be used for whole group instruction, small group intervention, special education, MTSS and RTI support, tutoring, after-school program, summer school, or targeted reading development. By working through this blueprint, teachers will be able to teach students a consistent process for decoding longer words, use morphology to strengthen pronunciation and vocabulary, help students recognize prefixes, suffixes, and roots, build academic word knowledge across content areas, improve reading accuracy, phrasing, expression, and fluency. Monitor fluency growth without creating speed anxiety. Teach students how to break apart complex sentences and help students understand how ideas connect across academic texts. Blueprint 2 gives teachers a structured way to strengthen the word and sentence reading skills that many older struggling readers still need. These foundational skills prepare students for the increasingly complex vocabulary, passages, and academic language they will encounter throughout the rest of the secondary reading blueprint program. You can find the complete Blueprint 2 Mega Bundle through the link in the description at my Teacher Pay Teachers store. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and visit helpyoulearn.org for more secondary reading intervention resources for grades 6 through 12. And I will see you in the next video.